So we'll call a meeting to order. Becca, do you roll call, please?
Yes. Brian Venema,
Here.
Christine Bob. Here. Monica McHugh.
Here.
Emma Rita Keith. Here. Sandra Gerlach is absent and excused. Tom Stewart.
Yes.
Mike Burke.
Here. So we have, not present for a quorum. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Anybody have any questions or discussion on the agenda?
I move that we approve. I'll second.
Moving second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda is election of chair. And apparently there is a little bit of discussion as Becca brings up.
Yes. So the resolution number 1002-01-02-2024 are the rules of procedure that we currently have that was signed January 2nd, 2024. The big thing with that for tonight is that it says the commission shall elect a chairperson and vice chairperson who shall be acting chairperson in the absence of a chairperson annually at the first meeting in January. The chairperson may not succeed himself or herself. In May, we had it on the agenda to discuss the zoning commission rules of procedure with Laura. We did not get those discussed or signed. And so that does not have that the chairperson may not succeed himself or herself. I will put this on the agenda to discuss the proposed rules of procedure for next month. So we could either postpone if you want to go with the proposed rules of procedure, or we could carry on with the voting of chair and vice chair tonight with the already adopted resolution.
I propose we move it to next month.
I think the only reason it was probably brought up, Becca, we discussed this beforehand was, I think in the past, we've done it that way, right?
Yes,
Yeah, we have.
and that's what, when I first saw it, I was gonna
I don't
give
want.
this for the meeting and I was,
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna ask, Mike, are you want it again? If
I don't
not,
want it again.
if you don't want it again, then we might as well go ahead and elect Monica back.
Oh, no, I don't want it back again.
Well, I've been chairman many times over the course of the years, and I really don't want it either. Not that it's not a great job and it's a learning experience, so Mary,
No.
Tina,
I am.
Brian, you're a little young, but maybe you could be vice chair.
I will
I
do
think
it,
you
but I
need
don't
to.
really want it.
What's that, Mike?
I say, I will do it, but I really don't want it.
Oh, well, there's a crack there. Let's put it off until next month.
That's.
So it's up to you guys. I mean, it's,
Well, there's a
we
difference
can't
between.
work on it tonight. That's.
Mike, there's a difference between not wanting to do it and not accepting it if we ask you to do it. Where are you at on that?
Yeah, I wouldn't, well, I don't know what I should say.
I think we should postpone and move to next month.
Sure, let's do that.
okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, but
We'll keep,
So we-
so what is the procedure? Are we gonna discuss it and vote on it next month, or do the supervisors have to do that, or?
But we have to discuss the whole plan.
discuss the whole plan, and the way it looks, it won't be a resolution, it just needs to be signed, dated and signed by the zoning commission.
Okay.
Okay, so how come this one was a resolution
No.
in 2024?
The rule,
I don't remember why we did that.
It's called resolution adopting rules and procedures Jackson County Zoning Commission.
Mhm.
I think we basically just agreed that we were gonna do what we'd always done in the past. It's just that it hadn't been
Done since
done for a long, long
19.
time. But that had been the standard procedure is, it was always the new chairperson.
Yeah, we did. A lot of times it was just a switch between the chair and
Yeah.
the vice chair.
Right,
the vice chair right now?
Oh.
I am, but see, the difference between me and Mike is if you ask me to be chairman, I'm gonna say no. There, literally, anybody on this, Sandra included, could do it.
Yeah.
I don't wanna do it, I'm already.
It's a great learning experience, honestly.
It is.
Just got to learn to make mistakes.
Things, right? I'd like to be
Already
speaking
good.
enough, Mike.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss, right?
That is the case.
Yeah.
Let's put it off to.
It's all nightmares about your wind ordinance or. Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, let's put it off until actual.
Yeah.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Tom seconded.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I guess we're moving that to really slowly, but.
When?
We put it off every month.
Yeah.
Keep making everybody, keep pushing it, yeah, by default.
What
Hey,
Robert's
great idea.
procedure on that would be.
So that will cover item number 5 as the election of vice chair also, I presume.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we move on to the approval of the minutes of the December 15th, 2025. We have additions or corrections or discussion on those minutes.
I'll move that we accept the draft minutes from the December 15th meeting.
I'll second.
This motion is seconded to approve the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now we're on to the public hearing of ZC 26-01 Egan House zone. Do you want to bring us up to speed and what's going on at the 30571 396th Avenue?
The applicants, Roger and Susan Evenhouse, are requesting to rezone approximately 1/4 acre from A1 agricultural to C1 highway commercial, subject to conditions under Iowa Code section 335.7. The property consists of 2 parcels that have been combined under common ownership. The site contains an existing 1,800 square foot metal warehouse building that was constructed around 1970, well before our county zoning regulations were adopted. The building is currently used for enclosed family storage. The property is embedded within a largely residential area with R1 zoning to the south, east, and west, and public federal recreation land to the north near the river access. The applicants propose 2 uses: enclosed storage of personal property within the existing building, potentially transitioning from family storage to rental storage units, and 1 unattended vending machine as an accessory use intended to serve seasonal recreational traffic traveling to the nearby Army Corps boat ramp. The vending machine would be limited to prepackaged food, beverages, ice, and similar consumable items. The applicants have indicated there will be no expansion of the building, no outdoor storage, and minimal signage. While the current A1 zoning doesn't align with the existing warehouse structure, the proposed C1 district without limitations would permit a wide range of commercial uses that would be incompatible with the surrounding residential neighborhood. Therefore, staff finds that conditional rezoning is the appropriate tool here. The proposed conditions narrowly tailor the permitted uses to enclosed storage only, 150 square foot vending machine, building attached and unattended, no staffed retail operations, and if necessary and needed, down shielded lighting and limited signage. These conditions protect the residential character of the neighborhood while providing a regulatory framework for the existing non-residential structure. I received three calls from property owners within the 500-foot notification area. They had just questions on the proposal. After I explained the limited scope of the request, no formal objections were submitted.
Okay, do we have any representative from the applicant?
Roger is
Cool.
here.
Okay, he's online.
Yes. Can you unmute Roger?
All right, there we go. Yes, I'm present.
So do you want to give us your rundown, Mr. Greenhouse, on your request?
He's muted again.
Yes, yes. Well, the property's been in my wife's family for practically ever. I think everybody knew Greg when he ran the business there. And we had to have a combination of the two lots done because the sale was kind of, when he sold the business, that back lot got kind of swept up in the business of the sale. And we didn't realize that, of course, until Levon, my mother-in-law, passed away. And that's when we realized that when it was appraised, that lot was no longer ours, even though we've been keeping it up all these years. So we went through that process to make it whole. And then with your water coming through here a year ago, my son happened to mention, he says, wow, you know, we got water that runs through there now. Maybe we should look at maybe utilizing a portion of that boat shed for a vending, you know, in his mind, like ice or something like that. And that kind of triggered the whole thing. But I said, you know, before anything can happen, of course, it's going to have to be rezoned because it's zoned at Ag 1, and I don't think that fits the parameters. So fast forward to now, I mean, we're still doing some just early on, you know, and what we might want to do with it down the road. But so we're just kind of trying to set our ducks in a row and just go forward from there. I did talk to Gary today, who owns, of course, LP Plant, and he has no objections or anything either. So that's where we're at with it right now. So if you guys got any questions for me, shoot away.
So that little shed that's at the property north of the building, right? Is that right? Becca, if you go to that page, that is
Yeah,
not
so,
your property. That's the LP business. Is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah, that's, well, I just want to make sure that I'm looking at it the same.
So when he said he had to combine the parcels, there was just this little bit back here that was separated.
So that was, okay, I was thinking of the other one.
Yeah, the back,
Oh, the back of the lot,
yep,
not the north part.
Yeah.
correct, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So this is now one whole parcel.
Okay. So that the little section that's half that size or so, right there, that is belongs with the
Yes.
LP.
Mm-hmm,
Okay,
yep,
Now,
Okay.
so the drawing or the rendering just shows like a ice chest, but you're talking having some kind of a vending machine there? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. I mean, that's the best I could come up with. Actually, my son-in-law did it for me.
Sure.
You know, with the 50-foot footprint, of course, that the face of any vending machine would be flush with the front. It would not be
Oh, okay.
sticking out. But
Okay.
that's the best we could come up with.
So the machine itself is gonna be basically offset back into the building?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, cool, okay.
Yeah, we just, you know, that's the only thing we could come up with. But just to kind of give you an idea of what would, you know, the face of that middle slot, which I think that's probably what we go with it, would be is just, that way nobody can, you know, when they walk through, they can see the vending machine. And then, of course, the back of the lot, which is, you know, the back of the lot, that way nobody can there'll be cameras there, of course, in that, but there's no walk-in man door. There's no way for somebody to really hurt it except for what's showing right in front.
But can you go back to the thing that shows the surrounding parcels?
Yes.
And the golf course? Oh.
That's what
There.
It's down
Oh.
there. Dresser.
Yeah.
Is it
I think golf course. We can get to
Oh, it's way.
And this is then the neighboring.
It's north of.
Right,
That's the L piece.
Just,
Yeah.
okay, so it's,
Yeah, I would,
Dresslers.
Yeah.
so,
So
so,
that's all Dresslers, right? The yellow.
Yeah.
Right?
okay, yeah, I was trying to place it myself,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, what's the park? I can't think of the DNR area right north of that.
Yeah, that's the,
Can't
Oh
think.
my gosh, spruce. They
Spruce.
That's right north of that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not that familiar there, but I. know.
that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
That's it, yeah, especially there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just way,
Yeah.
way up
Yeah.
there.
I don't. Being the reason. Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
So when you talk about the water here, did Bellevue put city water out there?
Yes.
They did.
Okay. Oh,
And we had a T put in right at that location, approximately in that, it would be that western, southwest corner. There is an actual T there right at about the lot line in case we ever wanted to do something like that. Or, just down the road, who knows? I'm not going to live forever. I mean, it could turn into residential down the road. Because I know Gary has mentioned in the past that he's wanting to kind of move that LP plant area because just a lot of things. Traffic's not good for getting a semi in and out, or a big truck, straight truck, what have you. And so we thought it'd be good to have a T actually put there.
sure.
yeah, I actually. Hard to believe there's an LP tank that close to residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they, and
There was
kind
probably
of there before.
there
I'm sure it was, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, that's kind of a
yeah,
map, because it looked like there was other tanks, bigger tanks there at one time. Nations are there. Or-
There was 2 back in the day.
Yeah, not just one. Okay.
And Roger, when he first proposed it, said he's not going to most likely increase traffic. It's just gonna be hitting the people going by.
yeah, sure,
To go,
yeah,
it's the convenience, yeah, there's.
Are
plenty
they
of
selling their
places.
special just to get extra?
no.
Yes, yeah,
But it
Yeah,
sure
probably.
it'd make it very convenient for the people out there, instead of running back into Bellevue to grab ice, I mean, it would be, yeah.
That is correct. That's our thought process. If it ever comes to fruition, it doesn't change the traffic. It'd be probably more or less a seasonal thing also.
Mhm.
Keeps the drunks off of Highway 52.
Doing a public service, right?
Any of the neighbors.
I heard from 3 of the neighbors, yes,
And-
and they just had questions and no.
So nobody was
Opposed.
opposed to it.
Not at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was here to address in case there was, and, and in the end, it's what the public has to say anyway. And, so our thought was it wouldn't increase any more than that's already there, and try to tap into the traffic that's going through seasonally anyway.
There's no one on mine either.
And there's nobody else.
No. Rails on that.
I don't either, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wish I'd have thought.
Wish I'd thought.
Wasn't my idea, actually. It's a younger generation. It's been in the family forever, and it'll stay that way, with my son and son-in-laws or whatever. It's always going to be there. It's been good to us. So just looking down the road, if they want to do something different, there's an option for them.
So I'm thinking we can probably close the.
Yeah.
Public hearing tomorrow.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Anybody opposed? Okay, does the commission have any more further discussion on what they recommend happening here?
I move that we approve the application to rezone.
So, not to amend anything, but in number 8, there's a recommended conditions
Yeah.
for the board consideration, so there are some limits set in there that would not allow what I understand full C1 classification.
Mhm.
Well, the question I'm gonna have, technically, there's a motion on the floor, so you should.
I understand that, but I just.
But I was gonna ask about that, yes.
Yeah. So Monica made a motion to approve.
I'll revise that.
Okay.
I will revise that to approve rezoning from A1 to C1 with the recommended conditions
That are present.
that are present in the staff recommendations.
Okay. We have a second on that?
I'll second that. Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
Or go to discussion?
Before I do that,
We gotta go to discussion.
okay, all right, yep,
Okay, so we'll discuss.
yep, we'll discuss first.
Discuss that.
What do we have in our zoning requirements for parking?
This will satisfy. That
Well,
only
that's
needs one.
Like,
Yep.
what, okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
that.
Well, always the question is, you know, does it cover, do these restrictions cover it, so somebody else couldn't buy the property and then put something that was C1 appropriate that maybe the neighbors wouldn't want? That's always a question we have.
Right. With, advisement from the county attorney's office, they helped come up with the conditions. So being a conditional rezoning, coming up with conditions, it will go with the land. It'll be recorded. And once it goes to the Board of Supervisors, for their public hearing and final approval, then, we'll have Roger and Susan sign the conditions and then they'll be recorded.
You agree?
So they would go with the land.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any further discussion on it? Are we okay to vote?
Hang on just a second, I'm not quite through them all again, I read them all once
No, it's
before.
forward.
Yep.
What kind of covers, not what commercial,
Yeah,
retail, industrial, so it's kind of covered.
yeah, and it says in there that, what I was double checking is that somebody in the future could have it rezoned. But, you know, that.
They have to go through.
They gotta go through the process, yeah, so that's fair.
I have a question. So were you gonna have just one ice vending machine? Is that it? Or was there gonna be another vending machine with?
Yeah, initially that was the big thing, is just to throw something out there in the form of vending. Those units,
One vending machine, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, he's limited to the one.
one, okay,
Yes,
right.
okay.
but it could be consumables, ice, pop.
I just one machine that doesn't address both of those things. is what I'm-
Correct,
So
correct.
you can either have ice or you can have food. You're not gonna have.
No, yeah, if it'd be ice, that's just it, it's ice, and,
Okay.
and that was the big thing, being as we got water there, and we're still, just kind of doing the research on what type of a unit to put in there and that sort of thing, so.
Okay.
So are we ready to vote now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need a, voice? Well, what am I trying to say?
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
Brian Benema,
Yes.
Christine Cobb,
Yes.
Monica McHugh,
Yes.
Emery Keith,
Yes.
Mike Good,
Yes.
I'll say yes too.
Oh my gosh, Tom Stewart?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't get no respect.
She skipped over.
How did I drop you off my
She messed up
head?
receiving this time, and that's why.
It is, I need the back of that medical.
Well, good luck with that.
Motion is passes, so the ZC 26-01 moves on to the Board of Supervisors.
Right.
Okay, so next,
Very good. I appreciate everyone's time.
we'll move on to our work session for the data mining, data processing ordinance. And Becca, why don't you take over wherever you think we're at on that?
Okay. Yeah. Probably in your red folder.
Red Bull.
In the stapled packet are the topics of discussion that we could go through tonight. Also the grid that is in the red folder are the comparisons from the, other county drafts and ordinances. On how they handle the CSR, the noise standard, and their decommissioning financial assurance. So I thought I would do the research for that.
Did you get a copy of the Lynn County ordinance that is going through their public
Yes.
hearings now?
Yes, there's a on the back.
Okay, yeah, because there's been a lot of discussion because they have two large ones going up.
Yes. And they do
They had their
have,
second reading this morning.
oh, yes.
Mhm.
And their draft is for the large data centers, and they, I believe, kind of separated their ordinance between the large and then,
Smaller one, okay, I did not look, I didn't go online to look for it, I didn't have time, but.
yeah. I can email you a copy.
Jen, I'm curious, I'd kind of like to see what they're.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah, no, I can send it out. So we, in the stapled packet are the topics of discussion that we can go through, and we don't have to hit them all tonight. But this is our starting point anyway. So the first is with decommissioning. Some of the things then, as other counties ordinances are evolving and more Zooms with the data mining topic is I've been joining. I come up with different things too, and decommissioning. A lot of places are not doing full decommissioning because the building is still usable for something. So I guess
Depending on what kind of center it is.
depending on what the center it is, so do we want to?
Well, it's gonna be a permanent building anyway, so the building, because ours says has to be a permanent building.
Exactly, yes.
So, yeah,
So the building
Right.
could still be viable for
right,
something.
it will be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so how would we want to put our decommissioning to that? Like the all servers, racks, cabling, cooling equipment, generators, batteries, hazardous materials, and any one-off industrial elements that aren't useful to most other uses. So then it leaves the building clean and safe, but not demolished.
That would make more sense. Fine.
Can we, see, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. So somebody puts up a building
Mhm.
and they decide to close the data center, move the data center. It's kind of like a great big Walmart. Do we, when Walmart cleans everything out, do we tell them what they're gonna do on the inside of their building?
No,
So obviously, the hazmat portion of this is kind of covered by the DNR.
Mm-hmm.
So can we really tell them what they're gonna do on the inside of a building when our policy is land use?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with an auto shop. Got an auto shop out in the middle of nowhere. They decide to close. Do we tell them what they're gonna do with it?
We do not.
So why are we telling a data center what they have to do on the inside of the building?
Well, we're presuming it's gonna be sold, right? Or, I mean, because we could just let it be abandoned with all this crap inside of it too.
But any other building can do that too.
Can't do anything about it, you know.
We can't do anything about like abandoned structures
Taxes are being paid on it.
if they're going. If they continue, I guess if they continue to pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I really struggle. Granted, I know what we wanna try and do.
Yeah.
Can we treat this like any other business? Ag repair. You know, are we gonna go in and tell them, oh, you gotta clean everything out?
Not if they still own it and they're still paying taxes.
You know, they can abandon it and they're paying taxes on it. They're gonna sell it. Okay, do we go in and inspect the building? I don't think we can do that because that is not a zoning board's purpose. My opinion. Tom,
Well,
what are you gonna say?
What I'm gonna say is normally. When you say, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, the hair at the back of my neck goes up. But I tend to agree with you. I think that we can tell them what, you know, we can put stipulations on what's on the outside of the building. You know, for visual effect and all that, but I have to. Agree with Monica, we can't really tell them what's on the inside of the building. As long as they're paying taxes and they're, you know. And like, you know, if they sell it, then. The new owners are gonna have to deal with it,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Or
I-
the hazardous materials.
Well-
Pose a.
And I was gonna say, as long as the hazardous materials, Monica, you said that DNR is gonna take care of that. I just wanna make sure that part of it's covered,
Yeah.
you know, you don't want a building that has something left behind, but.
Well, so truck stop on Highway 61 that Dairy owns. That was a gas station. DNR had to come in and do all the remediation on it.
Yeah.
I think that is part of Iowa law already with the reclamation and things like that, and then there are funds available out there. So with the hazmat portion of this, that's not something that's really covered under zoning. There are other laws that handle that.
And I would
Okay.
assume that if there is a sale of the building, the new buyers would do an inspection and the sale would be contingent upon that inspection, just like you do with a real estate.
Right.
Well, and if they've got a well out there, guess what? If it has every 2 years, if you sell a rural property with a well. And there has not been an inspection done within 2 years before you can sell that property, the well must be inspected. So there are steps that fall outside of the zoning purpose.
Well, just to move on here, and would it be right then to say we keep the language, but we just refer to the outside of the building? So that, you know, outside the structure, all services, racks, cabling, cooling systems, batteries, hazardous material, so on and so forth. So is it, you know, at least the outside of the building is cleaned up and stowed and taken care of, and we don't. Out of sight, out of mind on what's
We don't have an
inside.
eyesore either, too.
But we're already covered on that for eyesores, and that's already in our zoning.
Oh, and that's working so good.
I don't disagree with you on that. I do not. However, here's the thing with the restrictions. If we start putting more restrictions on stuff like this, we could end up being sued for more restrictions on one type of business because we're not being fair. I don't disagree that our junk is not being cleaned up the way it should be cleaned up. I don't disagree with that. But we have that already in the ordinance.
So you're saying this is just not necessary at all?
No, I just don't think it is.
Flipping over to the third page, decommissioning requirements regarding e-waste.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Anyway,
Decommissioning requirements regarding e-waste on page 3. As part of decommissioning, all servers, computer equipment, monitors, batteries, and other electronic or electrical components associated with the HDCF facility, HDCF shall be removed from the site and managed in compliance with Iowa Code Chapter 455B and all applicable state and federal solid and hazardous waste regulations.
Yes.
So we can say all that. And
from inside the building.
then also leave the viable building.
That, I mean, that would cover the
This makes that first part redundant.
Yeah,
exact, that's, yeah.
okay, so I'll default it, yeah, let's get rid of the first part, because it's covered in the back part.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because we already put the code section that it falls
Okay.
under, so.
all right,
Right, yeah,
so we're covered.
yes, and all applicable federal and state,
Yes,
not just.
So how much are you getting rid of and what are you keeping? You know.
You're keeping all of that under
Keeping all of
decommissioning
that
requirements.
Yeah, it's under the decommissioning part.
Yeah, it's, yeah,
Just this paragraph is all you're keeping.
keeping, yeah, yeah.
And the rest.
So the one was just, what do you think?
Instead
So
of,
we're just-
instead of number one.
We're striking one.
Yeah,
Everybody agree on that though?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. All right,
yeah, so we do want to allow and encourage the reuse of the building shell and foundation if structurally sound and code compliant.
I think so.
I think
Yes.
So, yeah.
Why wouldn't we?
So with the parking lot, with our parking regulations on page 2. Generally, data centers don't have many people working for them. They don't necessarily need the parking lot that large of a building would require. While it is a data center, do we want to decrease the parking? But then make it.
No.
Yes. But we don't want a large parking lot and it's not being used. And it's just going to cause, it potentially could cause runoff
Yeah.
complications. Add the disclaimer, if the principal use of the building changes in the future, the new use shall comply with the off-street parking and loading requirements. Then in an effort for that use category in the Jackson
okay,
County.
so,
I would say that because I don't think there's not gonna be that many employees there.
yeah, so in my thinking, if you get a small crypto site or whatever, you're not gonna have a big parking lot to begin with. And if you're gonna get one of these big 50 megawatt ones, you're still not gonna have a big parking lot, but what you're gonna have is you're gonna have a lot of cement out there from the cooling system and the closed loop, cooling system. You're gonna have a lot of cement out there from that, and then you know, the generators themselves, so to speak, you know, because normally you got 2 or 3 coolers for every unit you have. And so parking lot's not gonna be the question where you have a lot of cement, it's the actual site itself. If it would pack up and move away.
Sure.
I'm just stating a fact, I don't have a solution for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean. Once one of those big ones go in. Then it limits what you can do there except to have a data center. But there would be other uses, because if you're gonna have a big one there, then you've gotta have a substation close by, and so maybe some other business would come in, this is all speculation. But parking lots aren't really, you're not gonna have a big parking lot at one of these, because there just isn't that much demand for it.
So do we need to set up, parking requirements per square foot kind of thing? Differently for this,
What's our, I don't remember, what did we do on parking before? What's our ordinance? I can't remember how we did that because
It's per square foot.
depending on what kind of.
Depending on what kind of business
on what
it
kind of business it is.
Yeah.
And so,
And this,
This really is, yeah.
I know, that's what I was trying to remember what we did for,
Is that per employee, or was that per square foot?
or was it per person served? Because we had different things for schools and
Yeah.
and daycares and, adults, yeah. I was trying to remember.
What's the parking look like in these other plans, Becca? They even have anything?
some do, and that's where I got it from, but I can't remember which
So
one.
that's where 5 came from.
Yes. And I could always write it in and we can decide how you would like how I put it in.
Like 1.5 per employee.
That could be up to.
That kind of. That's what kind of,
Just go with what number one case says.
because to be honest, a lot of these are not gonna have very many. And I think,
But that is, we set a minimum of 5.
but if,
Spaces. And then it's up to the administrator if they need more.
I think we should look at doing something like 1.5 per employee. Oh, wait a minute, scroll down.
You want M or C?
Stop, oh, wait a minute, okay, we did 1 space for every 2 employees on the maximum shift. I think that's kind of, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Sure.
So instead of continuing to add different parking requirements for different items, we should try and stay,
It's a processing use.
yeah. say similar instead of having 50 different parking requirements for, because if the building changes,
Mhm.
you know. One space for every 2 employees on the maximum shift plus one space for each company vehicle.
It makes sense.
I think that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It's not
That would
recreate the
also,
wheel.
that would also keep it uniform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then you've got C, so.
So our
Would
decommission,
probably keep it the same.
decommissioning, the next week. Pretty much covered everything there on page 1.
Are the other counties, are they requiring theirs to be fully enclosed in a building as well?
County do, I believe, made a permanent building, no?
Joan is,
Pretty sure Clinton was somewhere, but it.
Clinton, yeah. Um. I wasn't remember on this.
I was just wondering if that's the standard that if people are going towards, because, you know, the one up in Manchester is not. You know, so,
what's the one in Manchester like?
well, it's a 50 megawatt, unit and, it's all outside. There's 2 substations on the end of it, so as that we can power at least half the load. It's one, you know, one of them goes down and it's probably the size of a football field anyway. And it's all cement and, you know, it's, you know, literally, like I was saying, there's, for every server unit, there's 2 cooling units. It's a loop system. And, you know, so that's why I was saying there's a lot of cement. And then I was thinking, well, ours, I don't think we're gonna be in that position anyway.
Yeah,
That we're gonna get one that big. We're gonna be probably more likely looking at something smaller that could be enclosed in the building. It's, you know, if it would go, I'm not sure anybody's gonna be interested in Jackson County, you know, at this point, but you never know, you know, somebody might be. And who knows what 2 or 3 years down the road's gonna do.
the units could get smaller and more powerful.
Right, yeah,
And
that's what
so
I'm
that's-
saying, yeah,
I mean, look at servers from,
yeah, right, just not that long ago.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and right now, it's not very feasible that we would get an actual data center. But 5 years from now, the whole dynamics might change and they might be popping up on a small scale around
Right.
too, so. So I think it's good to, you know, go ahead and say it's gotta be within a closed building if that's the case. For Jackson County,
Yeah.
maybe not for some other county, but for
Right.
Jackson County.
I will add that to my comparison list though, to
What's that?
the enclosed building to see what other counties are doing.
Yeah,
this seems odd after 9/11 just to have data centers out in the open, because after 9/11 everybody wanted them.
well, but I'm talking about a crypto mining thing.
Yeah,
And the data centers, you know, that there are a lot of data centers around Des Moines.
yeah, oh, I know it.
Yeah, you know, so, and they certainly would all be enclosed in buildings, so.
Okay, skipping on through. Enforcement action. Upon failure to correct a violation within the time specified and the written notice of written notice of violation, the county may pursue one or more of the following consistent with county code and the state law. So any enforcement is same compared to any other civil violation. For civil violations and fines as authorized by county code. We could add that the suspension or revocation of the Board of Adjustment permit for the facility and or temporary shutdown orders for any facility or component posing an imminent threat to public health, safety, or welfare. Which would pretty much just be spelling that out because the Board of Adjustment already has the power to suspend or revoke their permits that are granted.
Sure.
Do we have any civil citations and fines set in the county code at this point?
We do.
We do.
Cannot cite them, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Where? What would have the county request a temporary shutdown?
Why would the county need to?
That's, yeah, why would they need to and what would be the purpose of it? How would that be determined? That temporary shutdown orders for any facility or component posing an imminent threat to public health, safety, or welfare.
And what is
Who's-
welfare?
Whose subjective authority would somebody come in and say,
Need to shut
you need to shut down? I got a problem with that.
Wow,
That-
we're agreeing on so much tonight.
I just,
When
That's-
somebody health administrator says it's county health risk, they shut it down.
what's the welfare? I mean,
Yeah,
and
welfare.
how does the county sanitarian determine that? Or the health department?
Well, if something's leaking out of the building,
I say, you know,
So do they do that with any repair shop that has that happen?
well, I'm just saying, you know, if they have a, you know. If they have a breach in the system and you got coolant leaking out, you know, the question is. Does the county wanna have that shut down? You'd be calling the EPA in. I'm thinking
Well,
of
that.
the situation, I'm thinking of the situation where it's running down to a creek. You know,
That, well, and that's the DNR of the EPA.
yeah, right.
So should that fall on the county?
Well, that one made me a little uncomfortable, you know, because. You know, the county. You know, is it their place to be coming in and saying you gotta shut down?
That's what I'm getting
Yeah,
at. That's
I-
exactly what I'm getting at.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. So do we have anything like that in the wind turbine ordinance?
Mm, mm-mm.
So maybe this is a sentence we probably shouldn't have in the data mining either.
Yeah, generally, the order for people when they see something is to call the county and then they don't know what other agencies to
Mhm.
call.
Well,
So that would be,
so,
Calls.
so.
yeah,
So the county would call, right, the DNR or the EPA. But it shouldn't be the county that would come in and shut them down. It would be the DNR or the EPA. So that's what I'm getting at.
And when I read this, I
how
thought,
fast will it
okay,
shut down?
is there a
County's gonna
reason to
shut
have
down
this?
quicker because they're gonna be here.
Does the county have the expertise to determine? whether
Oh,
or
you
not
don't
they
wanna
can
be
shut
shutting that down, no? I mean, you need to have this professional.
That, exactly. You don't want the liability on the
Right.
county for somebody who
But-
doesn't have the expertise or the training in order to do that.
Well, when I read this initially, I thought, okay, is there a reason that there would be for public consumption? Would there be a good reason to have that in there So people, knew that the county had means to, do something, take action if there was a problem. Now, that's not saying that you're gonna go out and pull a big switch on the outside and shut it down.
Correct.
But, should we spell out, I mean, is that why it's in there? Is to give people reassurance that the county can take action or?
Well, in a situation that we had the other day, there was, there was a burning, somebody was burning, the neighbor called the DNR and, cause the person burning was too close to a waterway and too close to a residence. Well, the DNR wasn't available to get out there that day, so they called the Environmental Health Department. So as a liaison, then the Jackson County Environmental Health Director went out there, took the pictures, and then called the resident and said, you need to stop until the DNR can get out there and do their own investigations.
Okay.
But we worked on the advice of the DNR,
Yeah,
not the county made that decision.
right.
So what I'm getting at is my concern with this is this appears that the county can shut it down.
Mhm.
Now, do we have the expertise hired in this county to determine that something's wrong and should be shut down?
Right,
But they shut down this guy from burning this stuff until the DNR can get out there,
But
so.
the DNR contacted them and said, take the
Right,
pictures.
right,
and
right,
with it.
right. But in the meantime, didn't they tell him he couldn't burn anymore?
Mhm.
So that's
Based
if
on-
they shutting it down.
Based on what the DNR
Right.
regulations.
The thing is-
But if so-and-so can't get out to this and we have somebody who's a county employee, they don't have the expertise to do it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I know.
So upon the proper regulatory authority telling us, this appears to me that the county can make that decision. We don't have the expertise in this county to do that. So my concern is, I think this should come out because I think this would get us into a legal nightmare.
So taking her example, then something's going wrong in a data center. The DNR can't get out there, they call the county. Basically, you'd follow the same procedure you just did for the burning, and then the county would say, on DNR recommendation, you
need to shut down.
Shut down. So I agree, we don't need that.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's
If
what-
yeah, okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 All right,
I have a hard time picturing an imminent threat coming from something like this. And if there was something going on that bad, I think a company would shut down themselves anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
Although the DNR came out when our deceased neighbor was burning tires. And as the DNR was standing there talking to them, the neighbor before he died threw another 3 more tires on fire right in front of the DNR, so.
that must have been pretty hard when he was deceased.
He wasn't deceased then.
Oh, okay.
He is now, but he was not
I
then.
get it. All right.
Yeah, I just think that opens up the county to a liability issue and I don't think we want it.
How about take out county code and consistent with state law?
With state and federal environmental regulations.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause then it leaves in the warm and fuzzy. There are enforcement actions, but it doesn't come back down on the county directly.
Except, well, am I reading this right, that if we had, say, a noise level and they were exceeding it,
That would be county.
that would be county
Mhm.
code, and I think we need that in there.
What if we do consistent with county code, state law, state and federal? And
This
that
is,
would be,
this, see then, but we're looking at enforcement actions in
Actions.
general, but then we're real specific down here on the shutdown. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it needs to be broken out a little bit.
Yeah, broken out. and
I-
split up.
Think that should be taken out because we have the civil citations already
Mhm.
listed there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say with county code, state law, state and federal laws.
Got it. I will add e-waste to the definitions. Um, We also talked a long time ago about the conflict with state or federal law. And in this little snippet that state and federal conflict, if there's any conflicts, then the state or federal law shall control. To the extent of conflict in all other respects, this ordinance shall apply in addition to other applicable regulations. So state and federal is more important than the county.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how that works.
Yep,
Yeah.
so we will have that stated in there.
Yeah.
The permit transfer and change of operator, that will kind of mirror the, WEX ordinance. The fire and emergency provisions, I did tighten those up a little bit to, focus on the land use. That they require an emergency fire response plan, that ties to land use, and that the access routes, contact info, shutdown procedures. Require facilities to be designed with fire detection and suppression systems consistent with an FPA and state standards, and to provide evidence of compliance. And require safe access and coordination with local fire department. And then also putting a disclaimer in that nothing in this ordinance shall be interpreted to supersede, duplicate, or limit the authority of the state fire marshal or other agencies with jurisdiction. Noise limits. Is what we have currently. 50 dBA as measured at the property line of any non-participating parcel. I believe we talked about if it was going to be property line or how it was going to be measured at. So that gives a clear enforceable measurement point. And the other than question with that or topic of discussion is, do we want to keep it at 50 or did we want to reduce it?
I think we should keep it at the same as the WEX,
Yes.
because I think if we start messing with this, it's gonna create more issues.
I agree, I think we should keep it for consistency, the same.
I'd vote for 45.
I don't think we want to change it from the WEX just because it should be standard across our ordinances. Because if we have one at 45 and one at 50, and then the next thing that comes in, we change it to 35, I think that's the wrong thing to do.
And we did property line with what?
We did property line for WEX.
There's the king of 50.
I think I'm on.
And
Normally it's me.
Load confirmation, the load confirmation letter is, so to keep the load confirmation letter in there and just to add that the letter is required to document, just to tighten it up with land use. Required to document that the proposed high-density computing facility can be safely served at this location without materially degrading service to existing customers, and to ensure that any required upgrades are the responsibility of the operator, not Jackson County.
Go ahead, say it.
I don't think we can control this in
This
a
is a-
zoning. This is we're a land use. This is electricity.
Yeah.
And are we gonna start dictating?
I agree.
to-
I totally, this makes me, this one I really don't like.
And this is one that all the other counties are also doing,
I don't care what all the other counties are doing.
yes.
I think it's,
These decisions are made way above the county level.
yeah,
But to ensure that any required upgrades are the responsibility of the operator, not Jackson County.
What upgrades would the
no.
Jackson County be responsible for?
Electric.
it's the electric company. Do I
Yeah.
call Jackson County when I need power? When we move power,
So-
I didn't call Jackson County, I called
So-
Coconut Valley.
So again, like I was saying before, if you feel it's really necessary to have this in here for public consumption,
Yeah,
that's the only reason I see this has any value. And a practical value, it has none at all.
I disagree. I think this should be left completely out because this has nothing to do with the county. Nothing to do with it.
Maybe it's CYA.
It doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Mike, if that's what they're looking for, fine, but that,
You know, but here's,
Why
I
not?
don't care what the other counties are doing. CYA, why should the county say anything about the electric use? This is not a land use. That is a utility that is regulated by the Iowa Utilities Board
right,
and not by Jackson County.
yeah, whether it's Macocota Valley Electric or Alliant or Mid-America for that matter, these decisions are made at the generation and transmission level and at MISO level on whether or not these things are viable and whether they're gonna affect the system. And so that's why I have a real problem with it. But again, if the supervisors feel like they need that in there, as Mike says, for CYA, that would be the only value I would see. And so if the supervisors want it in there for that reason, okay, but it's really, in my mind, it serves no real practical reason.
I'm with Mike. Ask the county attorney. I don't think it should be in there, period.
Yeah.
Because we have
People
absolutely
don't.
no responsibility for that.
Yeah.
So check with the county attorney. I understand other counties are putting it in, but I think it,
Yeah, one of the biggest fallacies with these outfits is they are running into some trouble over on the East Coast where they put in so many data centers. They're stressing the system out and they got ahead of themselves. And that's not happening here in Iowa, and so we're doing a pretty good job of, keeping this where it's a benefit, not a detriment, so.
sure, yeah. And if
Anyway.
the public were to read about the other states.
Well, that's the thing, if they read about what's going on the East Coast, they think it's happening here, and it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
They don't want it to.
Doesn't mean it can't.
That's, yeah. But no, I don't think this has any.
I think it should come out. I think it's. We're not dictating to the electric utilities, because that's the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope they can do what they say they can do when they move in. As far as providing the power necessary.
yes,
We hope that,
yes,
but that's about it, right?
I don't wanna say more. It's all being taken into account.
Good.
And And the other common concern, and rightfully so, is that some of these units will stifle economic growth because there won't be room for, you know, a business to come in, and that's not happening. That is being taken into account as well. And so, yeah, anyway. I'm biased, and I will admit it.
So then that brings me up to my next question. A joint public hearing with the Board of Supervisors. If you want me to fine tune it and we can go through it another month, which that would be March, and then think about April or May with the joint with the Board of Supervisors.
I don't think we're ready for March.
know.
We have to.
No, it
vote
wouldn't,
on- Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to see the final printed,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and go through it, my opinion.
Yeah.
I would,
Piece by piece.
I would agree, we need to go through
We
it.
need to see it.
I-
I need to see it.
March, go through it, April fine tune and potentially May.
Potentially May, at
Yeah.
least, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good. We'll keep working then.
Oh, yeah. When do we change the time to 7?
Oh, yeah.
After daylight saving,
Which
That's
is the
coming up.
8th. March.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's
Already?
Yep. Oh, so then March, we go to
That's
the
when my
7th.
handy dandy Google calendars actually.
March 8th, yeah. So the March meeting would be at 7. On the 16th, right?
yeah, I was just waiting for Mike to move
Oh,
down
sorry.
the agenda.
I'm jumping ahead.
That's okay.
So
You
move on.
would be a great chair. It would be a great chair, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Keeps things moving.
She does, I like it.
Well,
Jumping
we
ahead.
had our 7 o'clock next month,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Becca, I'll be here at that meeting.
Okay.
I will not be here either. I won't, I have surgery, so.
Perfect.
Perfect.
That'll work.
I might be able to zoom.
Be able to see.
I don't know.
Give that cover your,
I'm telling you very much about the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to drive. put it that way.
No, definitely.
So that
I
means
might be able to zoom.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to.
The Zoomers, we can.
Vice President or other way around?
Yeah.
Do you have anything
I'll
else?
be Zooming.
I do not. Yes, this next meeting, March 16th at 7 PM. We'll discuss the rules of procedure. Possibly,
If we do the rules of procedure, we'll be able to vote on chair and vice chair at that meeting then, or does that need to go to another meeting besides that? And if we do it first, we should be able to do.
from my
I-
quick research that I did, I believe so. But I will.
I'm just saying that this other one, the sign, but the supervisor.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm trying to figure out. If this one had to be signed by supervisors, why this one wouldn't?
Yes, my quick chat with Laura, it sounded like all that needed was to be signed by the zoning commission,
Signed by who?
the zoning commission,
Okay,
chair.
or the vice chair, because the chair is having surgery that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nothing else. Do we have any comments from the public at all? Anything? And Joe, Carol,
None.
down there? Okay. And I guess we can ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Did that. Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.